Hello fellow crafters, I'm going to share with you some projects that I've been doing over the last few months because I'm a little behind on videos and I apologize. I'm going to share with you this stand with a canvas that I made for my grandson's picture. Now this is one of those canvases on a stand that Garden Ridge sells. They had this on clearance, so I gessoed it up. Use some Lindy Stamp Gang sprays, and I have to move it along to show it to you because it's pretty big. And I use a stencil that I got at Walmart with the stars on it to create these stars. I used the molding paste and mixed it with some acrylic paints. These are the stars that you pick up at Michael's, and you spray them to give them they take color, and all this writing and these little dots will show up when you spray them. And then this one and this one is from Tim Holtz Die. Excuse me. I've been really doing a lot of canvases, so you'll see if you hang in there. This is a wooden piece that I altered. I used some Lindy spray, some scrapbook paper to mat the picture. This is some trim from Hobby Lobby. This is a wooden piece that I cut down to fit and painted. This little heart here is a mold piece that Marion Smith had made for me at one of her classes that she did. Now I'm going to turn this around. Of course, isn't that a beautiful baby? He's so precious. And of course, oh, I forgot to show you the Luke. His name's Luke. And this is a wooden piece as well that I broke down so that it would fit in the corner, and I wrote his name in with gold gel marker. And then on the back, I wanted to alter the back so that if you had it standing, like say on the end table or something, you could still, if you could see the back. And I really wanted this quote on here, and it says, "A baby boy is special from the moment he arrives. He'll wriggle right into your hearts and rearrange your lives. You'll rock him on you'll rock him on your shoulder and kiss his sleepy head. You'll tiptoe to his room and watch him sleeping in his bed. You'll be filled with wonder as you hold this precious boy. How could one small baby brings you so much love and joy?" I can't even talk today. This here is a doily made with the Martha Stewart doily maker, and that was I think the 8x8 or 6x6. This is a 6x6 size that I put it on. These are the 7 gypsy corner pieces that I put on. So that's that. And for Easter, I made him a Easter mini book, his first Easter. And this is a Tim Holtz die, and I altered it, and I added some trims. This is one of those shrinky dinks. I used Tim Holtz's stamp and then cut it out and shrunk it. And everything that I used on this chipboard, I didn't do any paper. I used the Tim Holtz's Distress Paints. So there's the first one, and it says Baby's First Easter. I wrote that in there, and I put his picture. Because I was there the weekend of Easter, and then I used the Tim Holtz stamp and embossed it. Isn't that a pretty water look on that? I just love how the paints look when you mix them. And then this one, it says, "Look at those blue eyes," and it made me think of the robin eggs, blue eggs. So there's one Tim Holtz's stamp again. And then this one is so cute, him coming out of the egg. You can't see what was in the background, but it's just like some greenery. And then you turn this one over, and we have pink, and he's just giggling. And then there's a Tim Holtz stamp with the egg. And let's see, I'll go the other way. And then here's another one with Peter Rabbit. That's a Tim Holtz stamp that I embossed in white. Another picture. And the very back, my favorite, Grandma Loves You, Baby Luke. And the blue. Look at that blue and purple. I love the colors that the Tim Holtz Distress Paints make. And I did gesso each chipboard piece so the paint would take really well. So that's that. I think I might add some more trim up here. And then for Easter I made a couple cards for my family, and here's one. I just took actually that book and traced it and then cut out an egg-shaped card, and then just kind of I folded the paper in half, laid the egg on there, and then traced it around it and left the corner so that the folded part right here so that I would be able to have a card. I used one of my Jenny Lynn dies to make the doily. This is a flower that I had received in a rack. Here's a little Webster Pages piece here with the bunny rabbits. And of course these are just some of my dies that I have. And I used a Spellbinders and I stamped Happy Easter. Can't even talk. I added some little rosebuds here, a daisy, some more rosebuds, some trim. So there's that card. I wanted to share that. And I made, let me see my time because I know 6 minutes. Okay, I did a scrapbook page. This actually is the first one that I did with his picture in it from my scrapbook. And what I did was I used the scrap pieces that I had used for another project that I made that I already gave it away. And I'm sorry I'm not sharing everything lately. I've just been making them and giving them, and so anyways, this is just layered paper, stickers, old stickers I had, spelled his name out, Luke. These are some doilies you get in the bakery department at Joann Fabrics. These are just some cutouts from some paper lines that I tucked in there because he's 5 months in this picture. There's another one of Marion Smith's hearts. I don't know, I'm just on a kick of using these little hearts. Here's a Prima flower, and this is Tim Holtz in one of his new dies. I cut a piece and put it down here. Some of the trim. Here's a rub-on. It says Little One. You may not be able to see it. And then I did my own doodling with my white gel pen. And down here it says I love this little boy, such a cutie pie. And then over here, tucked in the corner, I've got a little note that says I got to be there when you had your first pictures done, which is, these were his very first pictures he had done, and he was 5 months old. And that's my grandbaby. So let me move that over here. Made some cards for Mother's Day. These are just the leftover cards, and I tried stamping this image on there, and it came out a little crooked. I wasn't real happy with it. I bought this stamp at Hobby Lobby, and when I stamped it, it was crooked, so I turned it over. I don't have the first one with me. It was glued onto the block crooked, so make sure you check your stamps before you stamp them, I guess. I wasn't paying attention. But I took it back and was able to find one that was straight. But I really like this one. It says, "Many people will walk in and out of your life, but only true friends leave footprints in your heart," by Ellen Roosevelt. And I wanted to make a few cards that I had already altered and stamp it for a few friends, but this one is probably going to make it to the garbage. I'm not sure. I might stamp it again and cut it out and glue it on top of that, maybe with some pop dots. Anyways, I took some watercolor paper and some re-inkers and put a few dots down on my mat and used a very small paintbrush and went around and put some white spots on the paper first, and then went in with the color to give it a little splotch look. And then I stamped these flowers and embossed them with white embossing powder, and then went in later with the same inks and colored them in. So that's how that card was created. This one is using the Tim Holtz Distress markers, and first I took this stencil and put it down on the paper. It's watercolor paper, and took some embossing. Actually, I used my watermark ink pad and pressed it down to get ink through the image. Then I used my white embossing powder, heated it up. Then I took the distress markers. Now see, I've a couple of these techniques, like this one and this one, I saw on, I think it is Simon Says YouTube channel. And ladies are just great. And some of the Faber-Castell designers, I've seen some of these techniques done. So anyways, I took the marker and I just colored across in several different colors, and then I sprayed it with water and moved the paper around so the paints would move, and that's how I created that background. And you can really see where it came out crooked there. I might redo it. I did do some stitching around the paper, and now because it was a wet medium that I used, it kind of warped my watercolor paper. I just put it between a couple books and left it there, and I got a nice flat. It's not completely, I mean, it's a little warped here, but it's still a nice card. And then here I stamped a butterfly and embossed it. So there's those two. Some of you that follow me on Facebook do know that I'm teaching now. I teach at a local, it's not local for where I live, it's about an hour drive from here. And it's in Forney. It's a store called Big Mouth Scrappers. And I will share with you a couple projects so far that I have created for them. This is actually the very last one. It looks like I've lost a flower. I had it in my bag. Might have pulled it out. This is using Faber-Castell's charcoal paints to paint the canvas. Then I took a stencil, which is the Prima stencil, and used some fiber paste to put the wording on there. You let that dry, and then we worked on these flowers. We made them with the Tim Holtz Bics die and his Small Tattered's floral die and his new leaf die. Did some doodling, white gel pen. Signo is my favorite. Ink, distressed the flowers, popped them up, did a little bending, and that's what I created. This one here I think is 11 by 14. I really love that because charcoal seems to be the big thing right now. So I did 2 canvases. This is the very first class I did. This is using black gesso, the stencil, with fiber paste, so that the stencil, the fiber paste will take any medium that you put on it. It's got, because it has the fibers in it, and to be able to color it after we put, you know, the stencil on here. That was the technique that I taught them. And we used the distress paints to color it in, used a white gel pen to do some doodling, and that's what we created. So there's that one. And I've got one more. I have to go grab it, so I'll be right back. I apologize. I'm back. Okay. This one, it was a tag, large tag. It's not an actual tag. It's actually a chipboard piece from one of those books that you buy, and it had the little holes here. Well, I turned it into a tag. We used the Tattered Angels Pearl kit set that you can get. I think they have them at Michael's and Joann's now. And I taught them how to use it to color the background. Then we used one of Diane Reilly's stencils with some masking, not fiber paste, just regular paste. Actually, the whipping cream by Faber-Castell. And we did the stencil on here. Then we used a Prima flower, some little flower scraps that they had in the store. We did some bows, we tucked them in there. And then we tucked a feather back here. And then this is the Graphic 45, the newest one. I think it's Tea Time. And Fussy cut the flower, bird out and tucked it in the back. Did some trim across the top. This is a little piece that came with these flowers here that I just stuck up here to hang it with. And then I put a piece of trim on the back so you can't see where the holes were. And I signed it. This was made in March. So there's that. And one more share. This is, I go to an art journal class, art journal meetup over in Dallas area. It's once a month. And this last time they wanted to alter book covers, and they just said, you know, bring some embellishments. So here's what I made. This is a book cover out of a book, using an old book. I gessoed it first, then took some Tim Holtz Distress paints. I think it had like walnut stain and peacock feather with some blues. Used some stenciling to create some texture. I used some of the drywall tape here and here and up here. Put some Tim Holtz paper in the background, glued it down, used his stamps to stamp a few images here and there. These are the, I can't think of them, they're little wooden pieces that you can buy. And I glued them down. I did paint them with distress stains. And this is a Prima frame that I altered with distress stain and rub and buff. Here's a little sticker you can get at Michael's. I stuck it on there. This is actually a sticker that was really long, and I just cut it down and put it on there. This is a wooden bird and a wooden branch, and these are little bitty flowers that were inside of my bag. And that's it. I popped some holes in the top, and I've got it hanging in my front room. I really like it. I think I'm going to put something here, like a bigger quote or a poem or something. I just haven't quite figured it out yet. So thanks for watching, and if you like, leave a comment, subscribe if you like, and have a great day. Bye now.